I come to this book club. First thing, when I invite people, my thinking will be always saying that I am trying to help people to get in the book club, make them good in public speaking or getting some knowledge actually. But when the book club starts, it's more of to me. I don't bother about anybody else. So I'll be thinking about how can I get knowledge from each and every one speaking here actually, because you come up with the same book which I read, but a different perception. You'll be sharing different thoughts from you. So it gives me more knowledge as well. So one way I'm selfish there. So I want to get more knowledge. That is why I'm running this book club as well. Probably it's up to you. How do you want to take it up? No, the book club. And some of them are really utilizing in a proper way. The weekly, every week they're speaking, every week they're reading and making sure they're seeing some changes within them. And definitely, I would suggest, in case if you read in this book club, you talk in this book club for next 6 months continuously. Definitely, if you're a person who's looking for a good public speaking and also to inspire people through your speaking, you can transform definitely. But you need to be consistent here. If you're not consistent, definitely without action, nothing is going to happen. Okay, so we have Tehseen here who will be host for today's evening, and we have Limi who will be a timer. As we know, we will be having only 4 minutes to talk over the speakers. We have a list of speaker already there. People who are no or joining new, they will not be speaking. They'll be just introducing for 30 seconds to 1 minute about themselves, and people who are speaking, so they will be speaking for only 4 minutes. So within 4 minutes, you need to finish your talk. In case you're not finishing, we will stop you. Don't feel disappointed. Don't worry, because that is a one part of public speaking that you need to manage the time as well. So we will try to finish by 10 o'clock on dot, by at least by 10:15, so that we can get back to your normal job or household things, whatever we have. Okay, so over to you, Tehseen. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks a lot for setting the context. And we have really good amount of speakers today. And I was looking at the list, and the first one is Bashir. You're going to be the first speaker. Is he in? Yeah, yeah, you're in. Okay.
I
Uh, I before that I'm sure all of us working from home would have done this activity. We will do this activity today again to know each other. Lim is very excited. She is waiting. What is this girl going to do today? So this is very easy, Limmy, not to worry at all. We will. So all of us have like home office setup or whatever, right? We sit on our couch, bed, whatever you have, which is not related to work. Please show that and tell us why do you have that on your table or at your workstation. Okay. And do not please go and pick things now. You cannot move. Okay. Whatever you have to show that. Let me know. No. Okay, Bashir, please start. No searching. Whatever you have at the hand distance. Yes,
yeah,
Bashir.
I always keep a diary on my table that has become like a part of for me from last 7 years when I joined the work, because I always keep important things noted in that. Because if I don't have a diary, one or other way, it is like a Google reminder for me that before I would go somewhere and attend meeting.
Very
So that is
important.
simple thing.
Yeah, very, very important.
And
I write and I strike. Do you do that? Like action item?
yeah,
You
yes,
write and you
yes,
strike? Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
Uh,
You can talk
So
about
today,
your book.
as like previously, I have speaking about 4 hours per week, but Tim Ferriss, which has been a very long, more than 2 months, I had been speaking on that chapter wise continuously. So today I will be going to give a book whole summary. Last 2 weeks I was not able to make up as I promised. So actually, what here author has told totally about book summary is like, see, you can dedicate your whole life based upon the type of goal you are going to choose, what you want to. So that one goal should be making a total change in your life if you dedicate yourself to that. For example, if you want the enjoyment in your life, author tells in the book like two important things. First, you should be able to ready to change yourself. Okay, the habits what you are going to inculcate, which you have already inculcated within yourself. Second thing, one is service, providing something to the society back. That is what Sam and Limi madam, like Peak Impact Mentorship, is giving a platform where many people coming from different area trying to improve their life, speaking skills and something. That is another type of service what I can give as the best example, live example for us. So other than your life, you should be able to provide certain to the society. So these are two important things which can provide you enjoyment in life or happiness in life. There are different ways, but doing this is the common two things what main author has focused. And coming back to, like as I have discussed previously about 80-20 rules, say how many of you, I don't know, from after discussion with that have done that 20% of the causes giving you 80% of happiness, 20% of the causes giving you 80% of the problems in your life. Have done the analysis. Author has told it to do it again and again after every once in a month or after 2 weeks, so that you can know where you are progressing yourself from your life, or what how you will prioritize your work and provide a space for your important things which are very urgent or not. And coming back to another few important summaries of this book is like, see, in this every book, financial literacy is very important nowadays, I'm telling you, because there is no guarantee of any private sector or a government sector. Don't take my words like seriously to your side, but it is the reality of life which you cannot run away from that. You should always try to become financial freedom. The early you try to become financial freedom in your life, you will be able to do what you want to do. If you get stuck up in one particular thing, half of your life is already gone, and remaining things you will keep it only dreaming. It will become like a dream life. It will never be an actionable life. So that is what the message convey generally I wanted to give to everyone. So thanks. Like, this is what I have summarized the whole book as a part of that. So I am started practicing that 80-20 rule and Parkinson's law in my life, and trying to build more on financial literacy, educate myself so that I can become more financial freedom at an early age. So thanks, Sam. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Basir. Great points. I think 2 points that actually scare me: financial independence that you spoke about. Yeah, I think it's very, very important, and you feel very secure in prioritizing things. Yeah, that I believe in a lot. Prioritizing. Thank you so much, Bashir. That was a great talk. Thanks a lot. And our next speaker is Limi, and you're going to talk about magic of thinking big. And did you get a pass from Sam? Whatever you're going to show, you're on mute.
No, actually clearing the question.
Sorry?
One. Yeah, sorry. No, actually, I was clearing the question with Sam. आपने ये पूछा कि what we don't use for our work, right?
Yeah. Something that you do not use for your work, and you use. I mean, you keep it on your table every day, but.
Actually, I was searching for such thing. I didn't find. Normally, क्या होता है ना? Sam always said, I keep lots of books. अभी my table is a single table, which I can keep one laptop and small diary. But right now I have 4 books here. So Sam always tells that your table is like a government office.
So you have books at your hand.
I was searching and I found this. I don't know how it came here. One scale.
What's that? Don't tell me.
Maybe Arav kept here. I don't know. So I got something which is out of my book.
Okay, but good stuff. Good one. Yes, Limi.
Okay, so I'll go with my topic now. So I'm going to talk from the same book. So hope you remember what I talked last week about the fear, how to overcome your fear. And the one major thing what I told is to do the action, right? If you do action, you can come out of your fear. So, but how can you do action? Normally what happens is people have this disease. That is why people don't they don't succeed. And that disease of failure is excuseitis. Okay, people give excuses. They give lots of excuses and they stop doing action. They don't start the action. So the author says here about majorly 4 excuseitis diseases, 4 excuses what normally people give. So I'm going to quickly cover these things. It's a big chapter. You can go through this book. So first excuse is health excuseitis. Okay, so normally people say my health is not good. I have headache today. I can't do this. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling bored. I can't do these things. And they give this excuse and they start postponing the things, and they don't and end up not doing the things actually. Okay. And second one is intelligence excuseitis. People say that I don't have that much brain to do things. I can't do such things. They have lots of intelligence. Their IQ levels are high, but the researchers have shown, and it is seen that people with the lower IQ levels also have succeeded, and the people with higher IQ levels they are just stuck in some job or something. But people with lower IQ levels with less education have grown to the higher levels, right? So putting action is the basic thing. And the third one is the age excusitis. So here comes, I'm too old to do such things, or I'm too young to do such things, right? So if I suddenly forgot the name of the person who started KFC. If he would have thought like that, at the age of 65, he has established this KFC. So age doesn't matter. And people who say I'm too young, they are scared. Maybe sometimes it happens that if they are given some post in the office or somewhere as a leadership post, and if somebody is older than them, they say I'm too young to lead them, or I'm too young to coach them. No, you if you are capable, if you put the action, you will be able to coach or guide anyone. So stop giving the excuse of age. And finally, luck excusitis. They say that you are so lucky that you got all these things. I'm not lucky. But luck comes to the people who do hard work. The definition of luck is hard work. If you do hard work, if you put action, you keep working, luck will come to you. There's nothing like luck. It's everything is hard work. So stop giving all these excuses. Come out of this excusitis disease and be successful. With this, I'm done. Thank you.
Wow, great talk, Limi. I think, we could relate to a lot of things, right? Which happen with us and also around us. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to me or anything as such. Even I have situations where I actually go ahead and give the excuses and say, okay, no, I'm not good at this, especially the IQ that you spoke about. And it comes with practice, is what I understand. And I have this really good excuse. My handwriting is really, really bad, okay? I did research. I did research on this, and I understood. I read an article which says, person who has really fast brain, right? Whose brain runs really fast, they write really fast. So you see, if someone asks me now, I give this excuse.
And others can't read it.
No one can read it. And fortunately, I scored well also in my exam. So good one. So I did research because a lot of people were questioning me, or in HR, you got to write a lot of things and you got to show a lot of things. You got to write on the boards, and I have really, really bad handwriting. So thanks, Limi. Thank you so much. And we have our next speaker. Sam, I don't think we have Vidya. How about Vinuta? Do we have Vinuta on call?
I think Vinuta, she told she'll join late. Vidya is not joined, so we can go to the next speaker.
I think Suvarna is the next speaker.
Yeah.
Hi, Suvarna. Art of War.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
How are you
You
all?
got to show us. I'm good, and we all are good. You got to show us what is at your hand distance, not related to work.
Not related to work. In front of me, there is one table. We have a remote here. This is for DVD player, which you won't use at all. They're lying. We won't use this, but everything we'll use. Only this we won't use.
Okay, good one. Nice. Okay. We get to actually understand a little bit of the infrastructure also at your workstation.
Okay.
Thanks.
Today I'm going to speak about the book Art of War. It's not completely about the book, but it's a one point in the book. It's written by Sun Tzu, as everyone knows about that. But this is translated by Thomas Hoon. The spelling is different, like. And this is this book, actually, The Art of War, Spirituality for Conflict. Okay, and this in this I just want to speak about only one point. Like it says that war is always possible. The first point in this book is war is always possible. So how do you go about resolving a conflict then? Conflict in the sense war. That is the first point. That is the point I need to speak about today. So first of all, we need to see where a conflict arises. So like it normally arises, we will think that it will arise between two nations or two states or two big entities and all, but it may not be necessarily such that in such way, but it may happen in between two individuals also, and within our family members, or with our boss, or with our colleagues, or whomever it is, it may happen. And also it may happen even within ourselves also sometimes. Conflict may happen like that. And whenever a conflict arises, we must see that we must face the conflict first, and then proactively seek to understand what lies at its root. At times you may try to avoid or gloss over the conflict, like because you don't want to deal with its difficult problems later on. But allowing a conflict to linger without resolution will only exacerbate those problems. So you may you may temporarily eliminate discomfort by avoiding those individuals who create those conflict and all. But this will ultimately fuel your own resentment in future. So whenever you encounter a conflict in your life, before you act, seek out a solitary place that balances and establishes your mind to spiritually think over that. So you just don't act in a rush way. So you have to first think over that. Then intentionally you must review over 5 factors. This book says that if you have to review over 5 factors, those are way, heaven, ground, general, and law. These are the 5 factors which you should think upon before taking an action. So these factors, analyzing these factors will make you sure to predict the outcome first of all. So you have the superior strength over your adversary or not, you will get the idea first of all. Then you have to act upon it. If you have a weakness while analyzing or assessing these 5 factors, if you find a weakness in that, then you may address the problem instead of remaining weak and unaware of that problem. So you need to make calculations on these factors, like if you have superior strength over your adversary or not. Here, you also need to keep in mind that these strategies, as it is mentioned in this book, should not be applied directly on your family and friends, because they may sometimes get into conflict with you, but their intentions are not to like trouble you or to harm you or something like that. Their motivations their motivations involve your best interests actually. So this distinction is important. You may sometimes lose your family in a conflict if you know the benefit, and if you also will sacrifice your own well-being to ensure theirs. So coming back to these 5 factors, the first one will be the way, what I was telling. The way represents unity for a moral purpose. It says like that. Unity for a moral purpose in the sense a higher purpose or a higher goal which we have. This represents our own, for example, if I take myself, I have 2 kinds of thought processes in me running. Like the first kind of thought process will be, I have to attend this book club, I have to talk with the other people, I have to speak publicly to other people so that I can improve myself or something like that. If I won't talk at all, there is no chance at all for my improvement. So that is the first set of thought processes. And the second set of thought processes which are completely opposite to this, and those are like, this is not the right time to speak and you are not prepared and not confident, and how can you face those people and all, there's no need now, something like that, and it will postpone my things like in the same way. So there is a choice for me to choose whether I have to choose that or this, whether to attend it, whether to speak it, or whether not to speak about anything which I have in my mind. So fear of getting out of my comfort zone, I have to choose whether I have to come out of that or I may not come. So this is dependent. So this gives me strength in myself, that unity in this thought processes will give me strength at last. So by seeing this strength, the support will come around me. The support will come automatically to me. So in the sense, I'm talking about myself, but this, when you extend it to the other people or other situations in a larger way, the support from the people will come to you, like with this innate strength within you. Then with this support, you can position yourself strongly compared to your adversaries. So the first one is the way, as I have said. The second one will be the heaven, which represents the atmosphere. That is the time of the day, weather, season, or something like that. This depends on the war zone or army. For them, this is applicable. But for us, the heaven represents the moods and attitudes within us. So it will keep changing. Those things keep changing and day by day and time by time. So the third one is the ground, which represents the terrain or the landscape, where this have restrictions and freedoms, all those things and all. This is like very solid state and we can't change much about this ground or heaven. this ground in arts, it represents like our own belief systems and the societal laws and social behavior. The unwritten rules will be written, like what we believe in ourselves, that is very strongly imbibed in us. So this represents the ground. So we cannot change much about these, we cannot control much about heaven and ground. This makes a total environment in us. But if we are flexible enough, we can respond to each factor accordingly and will create options for our advantage. So this,
You're exceeding the time, so
oh,
more than
okay.
5 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay,
No
you can
problem. The last
you
I
can
just
sum up.
finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth and fifth is, fourth is general, which represents wisdom, courage, benevolence, discipline, and credibility. And the fifth one is a law, which represents the management of strength and energy. So once you have assessed all these factors, you formulate the strategy and establish your supportive tactics, and this will lead to victory. So this assessment, first, at last, I would just want to say this assessment of 5 factors should be done with complete honesty and impartiality. So this is more important. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, Suvarna. Thank you so much. That was a great talk. Actually, I think you can pick each point and explain it to us because it's very deep, right? You got to think about it when you're talking. So it made us think a lot. I think you can take each pointer and explain it to us, and it was very interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
a
you.
lot.
And I just made this mind map to represent this this topic of today's.
Oh my God.
I just
You got
tried
to put this
to.
up. You got to put this up on the group if you're okay with it.
That's
Suman,
okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Magic
Hi.
of Thinking Big. Hi,
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, doing good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Suman. You got to show us what you have, like at your hand distance.
I have this box actually. It is not related to work. It's gifted by my mom actually. She went to Nepal or something. She got it from there. So as a showpiece, I keep it on my table every
So
No
day.
use.
super cute. Yes, Suman.
Yeah. So yeah, good evening everyone again. And today I'll be reading the book, The Magic of Thinking Big. So I have picked a section, Use Goals to Grow in Life. So we all have dreams in our life, but when you start working on that dream, it becomes the goal. The goal is more than I wish I could have done that. It is clearly saying that I have a plan and I'm working on it. Okay. So even in most of the interviews, the mandatory question is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years? Because that's the importance of the goal setting, and many a times a candidate gets selected or rejected based on this answer. I think the HR knows it better. Yeah. So in the book, the author has explained the goal setting in 2 steps. First one is to visualize in your home, work, and social department, and the next step is to think quietly and sit quietly and ask yourself, what plan are you going to make to achieve that goal? Okay, so in the book, the author has given couple of questions to help you set the goals. I won't be reading all of them because of the time constraint. The questions we have, for example, for the work department is like, what income level you want to attain in the next 10 years? Okay, like that, if you write it down, and you have to ask yourself, like, what best plan can I make to achieve this goal? Okay. So of course, apart from given in the book, you can add your additional questions also based on your goals. So out of my personal experience, I'm saying whatever goal you have, write it on a piece of paper, either stick it near your mirror or on the study table or near your wardrobe. Basically, you have to read that every day. So if you do that, it gets registered in your mind and it gets registered in your subconscious mind. What happens is, like, once the things gets into your subconscious mind, your conscious mind becomes clear. Then you'll be able to act and take decisions which help you work towards your goal. Okay. And the author has chosen mainly 3 departments. One is work, social, and home department, because all 3 are interrelated. But he has given utmost importance to the work department, because work basically gives you money, and it gives you society standard of living, everything. So you have to be very thoughtful and very conscious, and you have to make proper plans when you're setting goals for your work department. And the next thing is, like, whenever whichever goal you're working upon, you should have your heart and soul there. Okay, it should not be like, just because my friend told me I'm doing that to get some extra money, I'm doing that. No, you should always do with your full heart and soul. What happens if in that case, first thing, you will not be happy, and second thing, you might not even achieve that goal just because I'm doing because of some external pressure. Okay. And the author has also explained the 5 main factors which kills your desire of working on the goal, which he has told the weapons which kills the chances of success. Okay. So those 5 are, the first one is the self-depreciation, negative self-talk. The next is security, it is getting stuck in your comfort zone. Next is competition, saying, oh my God, there are already thousands of people working on that. Where will I stand in this crowd? Next is parental dictation. So this is very sensitive and subjective. Okay, parents' love is unconditional, but there is a lot of difference between their generation thinking and our generation thinking. So we have to have a healthy discussion and sort it out. And the last one is the family responsibility. See, we cannot escape or should not escape from our family responsibilities, but you have to find out a way, to working towards your goal. So when you overcome mainly these 5 hindrances, so you'll be able to work better towards your goal. And we see the CEOs, the millionaires, billionaires, they work more than 45 hours a week, but we never see them complaining. We never see them, stressed out or saying that I'm not able to do some work. That is because they have a goal, they have a rock solid plan working towards it, and they have a burning desire from within. Okay. So you have to achieve that level of burning desire from within. Also in the book, he has mentioned a 30-day improvement guide. So please go through it. And I would like to end this talk by saying that with the quote, that a goal without plan is just a wish. So thank you, everyone.
Hey, Suman, thank you so much. That was a great talk. And I think we've got a little bit detailed information from the book. We've heard this book a lot of times, but yeah, maybe I'm listening in detailed or something, but a good pointers. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Suman.
Thank you.
And we have, is Vinutha on call? Vinutha, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Hi, Vinutha. Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. You can start with the activity and then you can talk about the book you're reading. Do you know the activity that we are doing? Okay, you have to show us what is at your hand distance, not related to work.
Come again.
Do you have anything which is at your hand distance, which you keep regularly at your table and which is not related to work, okay?
Yeah, I have pillow. I have pillow.
Good one. Is that for backrest?
No.
Or laptop rest?
No, for sleeping.
To sleep. Okay, good. Yeah, Vinutha, you can talk about your book now.
Thank you. So as I was I'm still in the process of reading the 20 years business, the business of the 21st century. Okay. So I would like to talk about chapter 4. So here they mainly concentrate on 4 quadrants. That is, as I said, like E, S, B, and I. So I would like to talk about the core values each quadrant has. So E quadrant talks about it is I am in E quadrant right now. So I am in an employee employee quadrant. So mainly the people who are staying in this quadrant, they think that job security is important. Means they'll be expecting a good paycheck every month. And then the next is S quadrant. So if it is like the person who is having his own small business with two or three or people who will be working under his or her business. So what happens here, it is that only if the person, the CEO or the boss will be working here, only if he does the work, so he can get money. Otherwise, so it will be very difficult. And finally, next is B quadrant. So here it is like a kind of there the people concentrate on building the wealth. That is, here also there'll be like a team, but they'll be looking for the team who will be they want they want best team in the best people in their team. And final is that I quadrant. So it is like what is people living in this quadrant, they'll be mainly of entrepreneurs. So here in this, rather than they're working for money, money would work for them. So this I quadrant core value is that what would be my return on investment. So gradually all the 4 quadrants, it mainly talks on the mindset. So we like most of us will be we are living in either E or S quadrant, but gradually we have to try to go or shift towards D first, and then finally try to reach that S quadrant. So for that, as in see, for that we have to take care of like our habits. There should be 3 kinds of habits. One is to take care of our health, and one is to take care of our finance, and one is to take care of our safety. Like we have to know either swimming or being a girl, we should know self-defense. So, and when it comes to habits or wealth building, so we have to be a part of like we should know how to in next couple of years how we can become financially free. So we have to aim towards that. So in order to reach that, the main thing what we require is our mindset. So gradually, if we change our mindset, obviously we can reach or we can live in the S quadrant in next couple of years. So it is very tough, but we have to change our mindset. That is all about chapter 4. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Vinita. I think, I mean, it got me a little confusing initially, but I think at the end, when you spoke a little about how can we work on it or go to the next level or go to the S quadrant is when I kind of got the clarity also. But thank you so much. I think there are really good pointers that we can work upon or build upon, like health, wealth that you spoke about, which are very, very important. And thanks a lot, Vinita. That was a great talk.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. And Tamarai, you're going to talk about Rich Dad and Poor Dad.
Yeah, Tasin. Good evening, everyone. So, Tasin, to answer your question, I generally keep the work-related items. Nowadays, I started keeping a lots of book. So at least when I find a time, I will spend time instead of spending on mobile, WhatsApp or something. So, so I will keep different journals of book. So at least that will keep me motivated. That is one. To add up a point, it's like this is kind of a Viva. Every week we have, at least before a Viva, we will do a last minute rush up on preparing something, or at least do justice for joining this call, right? At least before 8, at least I try to spend a half an hour time to justice to join this call. So I have to thank you people for giving me an opportunity. So
I agree.
So today I'm going to talk about the Rich Dad Poor Dad from the Robert Kiyosaki's thing, the chapter 4. The 4th chapter would be talking about the history of taxes and the power of corporations. So here the author is talking, generally we know we all are basically, since most of us in this forum would be taxpayers, either to an employee or employer. Employee versus employer with respect to tax, what is the difference? I wanted an answer except from Limi and Sam. Sam, I can see you're laughing.
For employee, yeah, Thamari. Can I answer?
Yeah, please. Who's it? I couldn't sense the. Yeah, please go on.
Sunil, you got to get your mic closer to your.
Is it audible now?
Yeah, it's much better.
For employee, for any employee who is employed, he is really actually paying the tax, more tax compared to any businessman. So actually, businessman can convert those tax into their expenses, and then he or she can recover that taxes in their expenses in the businesses. But for employee who is employed somewhere, he has to bear all those taxes. Means if
Right,
you
that's
compare employee and the business owner, so moreover, and every employee has to pay the more tax compared to any business owner.
you're
Yeah.
right. So you not. So the exactly what author is saying, generally an employee, when they take a paycheck, it is not just coming from as a complete take home salary minus tax, then you will spend. But whereas an entrepreneur or a businessman or a businessman in the sense, it not necessarily you have to run with thousands of people and have to invest crores of money. Basically, like doctors, lawyers, and other professions, they register their concern as an one-man organization, and with respect to the tax, they will all their expenses are shown as their investment or expenses. After all of them, whatever is left, they will be paying a tax. Whereas, let's say one person, say for example, person A is a salaried person, he would be paying a net so and so percentage or a 20 or 30% tax, whatever the tax slab is coming according to his tax saving. But whereas a businessman or an other person, if he is planning properly, he can show up or invest everything to his business and he can pay a very less tax. So that's how the most of the businessmen are saving the tax. So probably what I'm talking, whomever is in the more than 30% slab or above that 20% slab will get the pain. When you get a salary hike for 100 rupee, but whereas you will be getting just a 60 rupee in your take home, whereas the 30%, 35% will go to your tax and remaining on your PF and other things. So that is one thing. And I can see Tasini is laughing. I can understand her great understanding on the tax part. We'll talk offline. The other thing the author is concluding, as a entrepreneur, what are the things you should be taking care of your taxes? First, you should be having accounts properly. On your left part of the brain, you should be good with your numbers. When you are dealing with more numbers, you should be more accurate. So that will help with your left part of the brain. The right part of the brain would be talking or handling your investment. So rather making a money, you should make your money making money, rather you are making money. So that's what the investment. Generally, sorry, there was a power cut. Generally, the Warren Buffett says your money should work for you when you're sleeping. So the same thing here also is getting repeated. As a fourth one, understanding the business or a market. Always there is what is business? There is a supply and demand, right? So if you understand the supply and demand, you will make the business and win the business. And as a fourth point, it is talking about the law. So that's where the author is clearly explained what is that there are two segments in the fourth point. One is the advantages of the tax versus the individual taxpayer as an employee versus an the entrepreneur or a corporation whom they have registered. So they will get all the benefits. And to add a point, most of the cases we wanted to own the assets. When there any financial disaster happens, everything will go as per the legal things. But most of the big businessmen and the corporate people, they will control the asset. They will not own anything. In case of some disaster happens, everything will stay in the name of the organization. As an individual, they will still not lose anything. So to give an example, most of the cases, if you see the Marwadi shops and all, they will be running a typical business with a proper registered name, even if they are running a small business or whatever it is. So this is giving a lots of insight. So I would strongly recommend all of you to go through this chapter 4 if you are not gone through already. Whether you want to start a business or not, though you are a taxpayer or as an employee, it will give you a great insight how you can manage your stuffs. And I just wanted to conclude with one thing. Generally, we will think IQ is talking about the intelligence, but there are lots of intelligence or IQ, right? So one is your general IQ, then your emotional IQ, how you will deal with your people, then spiritual IQ, how you want to deal with your the supreme power and so on. The fourth one, what I will prioritize is the financial IQ. So if you are not good at We cannot just keep claiming that I'm not good. At least take an opportunity to understand what is financial IQ and have the basic sense of understanding these things to have a better vision on your tax. And it's not just a tax, but this is how most of the people have made their money. So with that, I'm concluding my yeah, I saw you, Sam. Yeah.
Thank you, Samurai. That was a good talk. And yeah, it creates a lot of fear in me. It took a while for me to understand even the basics. I only know the basics because, yeah, of course, we all have to file, right? So for that, we need minimum knowledge. That's the only stuff I know about taxes. So when you asked me that question, asked us that question, I was like, oh God, what is this now? But yeah, like you said, I think converting those into investments is really important. Very, very true. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Tamarai.
Thank you.
And Sam, it's you.
Oh, I think, yep.
We have Arjun and Vaibhav also. Do we have them on call?
They have, but they're not talking this week. No, so probably
Okay.
they have not read any book. So we will. That's why he's already on the call, but he has not read any book. He told so. We will,
No problem, Sam.
do
It's your
that.
turn.
Okay, fine. Okay, so mine is very small thing. So I think a small topic where I'm going to talk, but I'm really excited with the topics what people speak about. So 3 people spoke about financial freedom. Actually, I think Basir also spoke a little bit about financial freedom. I think Vinut also spoke about financial freedom. Tamarai also spoke about financial knowledge. And I think it's one of the thing which most of the Indian school do not teach us, because they don't tell us how to make money. They tell us to study and become a good employee, but they doesn't teach us how to make money. So that is one thing which probably we need to require in our schools. Actually, I think Suvarna's topic also is very nice. Art of War. Absolutely, the mind map is amazing. So it will take some time to digest. And Limi and Suman spoke about magic of thinking big, excusitis. And I think Suman spoke about goals and how to visualize your goals, putting your goals on your refrigerator or maybe on your kitchen or whatever. Right? Absolutely. We spent like 45 minutes and we got knowledge from at least 6 to 7 books already. So that's power of being part of some association where you can grab knowledge. See, my topic is very simple. So I think I have a question to you guys, in case if you can answer. Have you heard about this term called as metaphor? Anybody heard about? Can you anybody unmute and tell me what is metaphor from your angle? What is metaphor? Anybody?
Prafula here. So
Yep.
metaphor is basically it's part of English grammar, but we use metaphor in reading books, while reading books like where the living thing is compared to a non-living thing, where where, for example, you say that a person reaches the goal, it's like reaching the summit of the mountain, which is top of the mountain.
Yeah, so more or less, yeah, it's basically comparing one thing to another thing, which is not same thing, but similar. So you're trying to explain something comparing to something else. So example, if if I'm explaining maybe electricity, I'm explaining resistors or amperes or anything. So if I take it as a resistor as an explanation, so if somebody don't understand, I can tell him it is something like water is flowing and you put something in front of that and it resists, it bumps up, the water bumps up, right? So that is what you called as resistor. So when the current flows, so you put something in between to stop it, or maybe to stop it, or maybe to reduce it, whatever it is. So you're putting something, you're comparing something with something else which is actually similar but not the same thing. That is there. So I'm trying to compare this with my life. Actually, when we talk about it, how we can impact, the metaphors can impact our life, because whenever we tell, for example, if I quickly ask somebody, one of my friend coming maybe from maybe other country, or maybe I'm meeting him from long time, I ask him how is life. So most of them have their own definitions of it, right? Life is like war. Somebody tells life is a battle. Somebody says life is boring. No, somebody says life is, no, life has become a mess and things like that. So when you use this metaphor, actually you are, that metaphor is, bringing a lot of what do you say, influence on your mind, and you're making that life is going in the same way. Like if you say it is a mess, like a mess, actually you're making it a mess. If it's like a war, you're associating with the what happens in the war. If you're associating, if you're telling it is like, probably if you tell it is like a garden, it is full of flowers and things like that, you're associating to some good things. So unconsciously we are using some of the metaphors which is not actually shouldn't be used in our life. Actually, whenever we say life should be always awesome. So whenever anybody asks you awesome, so that when you utter those words, when you utter those like metaphors in your life, so you will start associating that metaphors to your own life, rather than you associating to something else. So author says in that book, it's like 10-15 pages book, actually explains and goes into a lot of things actually. But I'm just condensed it to saying, just trying to explain you in a small context. So don't ever, whenever people ask you, so how it is going, most of them, I think there are some of them on the call, not on the call, some of them you ask them in the morning WhatsApp, how are you? The answer, most, I think 80% of the answer will be like, oh, not no, this some of these words I would have not too bad. So that is also a negative thing actually. It's okay, no, it's okay, normal thing. That's no, some of them tell that, like, it's like hell, man, it's like hell. So there are a lot of things, because they're not actually wanted to tell that, but they're uttering those words because of some notion in the backside of your mind actually. So it is actually going back to that association and making the life hell over a period of time. So what author says is, try to use your metaphors in the right way. So don't use your wrong metaphors and associate things, because over a period of time you keep on using that metaphors in your life, so that becomes your life slowly. So whenever if you want to use metaphors in life, always say life is like a flower, life is like garden, life is awesome, life is going well, everything is perfect. That is how you should use your metaphors and make sure have a good life. Okay, that's it. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sam. I could so relate to myself of Tuesday fevers that I have generally. So I know. I mean, and I think it attracts also, right? Anything little happens, you feel, oh God, it is Tuesday. I know that is the reason why it is happening to me. So I mean, there are bigger issues which happens throughout the week, but Tuesdays are always remembered for me. So yeah, I think it attracts also, like you said, it's always good to keep positive. And Sam, you forgot the task. You're not excused. Sam, you're going to validate, huh?
I have kept these 2 clips on my table from a long time.
For books?
Okay.
How those
Actually,
for
I bought for books, but I've never used it. So I was looking into the book and typing, and the book was closing. So I brought 2 clips and kept it there and then but I figured out how to use it after that. And after that is lying, I think more than a month is lying on my table, which I'm not using it.
Good one, good one. Okay, I think Prafulla is prepared with her talk. Prafulla, you can take 4 to 5 minutes since we started a little late today. Yeah, maybe we can.
I think I forgot to add her name actually. She pinged me in the afternoon.
It's not added.
No problem. So I'm continuing with this topic again. It's about financial literacy. So I'm able to associate what Limi spoke, what Suvarna spoke, what Vinutha spoke, Suman spoke. So it is like some of all the topics. So probably by the time I finish all the 24 chapters, I'm looking for all women here. I mean, everyone, but especially for women, because the objective of taking this book was to make all women to invest in stocks. And yeah, including myself, though presently I'm on break, I'm planning to invest, and I also encourage all of you to invest in stocks and with your own financial knowledge. So coming to the 3rd chapter, this is a book, How Buffett Does It by James Parrott. Coming to the 3rd chapter, Maintain Proper Temperament. What the writer says is that do not panic when people are getting too reactive too reactive towards when the stocks go up or stocks prices fall down. Always think of it in a long term. When you're planning to invest in stocks, at least invest it for the term for 5 years, for 10 years. So he has 3 quick tips here. Here are the 3 pieces of advice that we help you to for the good times and the bad times. Hold on to the great businesses. So as in the previous chapters where I mentioned about you need to invest in the business which you are able to associate. And if you're associating with that business, never think of the prices have fallen down, or it may not be a very favorable condition in few months or few years. It is better to withdraw. So if you know the business and you associate with that organization, and if you're already planned, this is the stock which I'm going to invest, keep it for 5 years, keep it for 10 years. And the second tip is know yourself. Don't buy a stock if you cannot have the stomach in losing half its value. So this means having the patience and discipline to hold on to the companies with sound management fundamentals. So the same thing. Over the period of time, in 2 years or 1 year, you may see the stock prices falling down, and suddenly it may be less than the 50%. Don't get panic. Have that patience and discipline to think about it in the long term. And the third one is never make an investment decision based on what others tell you. Develop a 10-year towards stock tips given by people around you. So always think about in a long term. Have a good homework done for yourself, as in the previous chapters which I mentioned, to improve your financial literacy towards a stock investment. Always think about what you are interested in, and the business you are associating, and in a long term, what you're expecting from the stocks and why did you invest. So in that way, just like you're investing something on your own self, think about stock as a investment, as a goodwill than the business. So he also gives about tells about few examples where people just suddenly they've been associated with the organization. Suddenly they see or hear in the trading market that the prices may fall, and suddenly they take off. And later they regret that the prices have doubled and tripled just in over the period of time in a year or 2 years. So this is all about it. The third chapter, I would like to say that let other people overreact to the market. Buffett advises keep your head when others do not, and you will benefit. So I conclude here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Prafulla. The way you started, I mean, it's a very scary subject also for me. But I kind of remember that mutual funds are subject to market risk. I can only hear risk. I cannot hear anything else apart from that one particular word. But yeah, I know a lot of my close friends, even my brother, he does a lot of stocks and stuff. I keep telling them, please be very cautious. Please be very cautious. Do not spend a lot of money on it. But yeah, I think if they have enough knowledge, like you said, and if they believe in themselves, I think, I mean, if they have good knowledge about the market, you can go ahead and do it. And no matter if it is a girl or a boy, I have also seen a girl doing it. So I think great talk. Thank you so much, Prafulla. Thanks a lot. You didn't do your activity. What do you have at your hand distance?
Yeah, I had this watch.
Oh God.
Oh, usually I keep it on my desk. When I go for a walk, I just put it to get my steps on. That's the thing which
okay, health conscious. Nice. Thank you so much, Prafulla. Sam, I think we're on time. 10:05 it is. I can talk about my book maybe next week when we meet.
You if you have prepared, you can go ahead. No issues. No, next 4 minutes we can finish.
Okay.
So done it,
I
yeah.
have prepared a little about the same book that I was talking about last week, Unthink by Chris Palais. Interesting, right? I was reading about this particular first part. It says part 1. It does not say chapters or anything. It says thought alone cannot tell us what thought is for. So I was like thinking, what is this? I mean, I'm not able to understand, right? Because I understand something which is very straightforward. And it says we can only understand as humans also, we can only understand if we experiment on others about what we are doing. So it says like scientists also have experimented by dropping things or by passing things or passing light or listening to things. And if they fail, they again started from the scratch and started the experiment again fresh. And that's how you can say that you are thinking in the right direction, because you're starting again to ensure things are going in the way you are thinking about. And also it says there are a lot of actions which we do unconsciously. Like there has been an experiment which was conducted. It was written in the book itself, interesting, and I could relate to a lot of it as well. So there were a set of people given to each and every person, and there are mentors or leaders in that particular teams who are leading that particular experiment or whatever. And then every person who is leading has a peculiar action. Like they have a habit or action. Like I have this habit of hand gestures, right? I keep talking like this and I like to talk, and otherwise I'll be very uncomfortable. In the same way, everyone has got their own, like tapping the feet or uh, just uh, just using their hand gestures or whatever. And after a certain point, you get to see that entire team also started doing the same thing. And end of the experiment, when it was asked, were you consciously doing it? Like, did you notice? They didn't even notice that the leader or the person who was leading that particular team had these peculiar actions. It's just that we are noticing it and we are also getting into that manners. And most of the times when we mimic a person, it's not because we want to actually consciously show them what they're doing or something. It's unconsciously we are mimicking because we are liking those actions most of the times. So that is something which is written in this particular part 1. I'll read rest of it and then come back. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I think it was good actually. So at least, so the
Yeah.
gestures, what you're telling actually is correct. So when you, it's basically, you know, when you like somebody and you unconsciously start becoming, you know, knuckle them actually. So you don't know whether you're doing it or not, but automatically it happens.
Yeah, a lot of times, even if I now go ahead and think of things which I do or which I talk or the way I dress up, also at times I see some characters or I see people and I like it. I like to dress up like that. Yeah, we do it because we like it. It's not because we want to show them down or anything as such. Even when we mimic most of the times for fun or seriously, we are doing it unconsciously. So that is
Great.
what.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank
So
you.
thank you guys. So I think everybody spoke very well. So all of them have, you know, good knowledge what we got from everybody so who spoke today. And I think for everybody who's already joined as well, you know, you have the opportunity to speak here, so you can prepare from any of those books and come back and speak. The only restriction is you need to speak from the book, not from anything else, because otherwise the moral or maybe the theme of the book club will go out of it, right? So, and if you can keep your cameras on and speak, that will be wonderful, because it will help you to, you know, come out of the fear of speaking, as well as, you know, if you can put some strong messages in the group also whenever you read tomorrow's, at least some capture some messages, add some messages in the group, so that will motivate others to do, because there are 50-60 people there. I know everybody in that group want to do reading, you know, they want to speak everything, they want to do it, but somewhere they are missing it because there is no motivation, nobody is speaking to them and things like that. I try to call most of them, message them, but some of them do not pick up. It's not that they are bad, it's there, you know, small guilty feeling will be there within themselves. No, Sam is calling, what will I tell him, what will I answer him, whether can I, you know, tell I'm not reading. Those kind of feeling will be there. It's not that they are bad, so though their conscious mind is not allowing them to, you know, pick up that call, that's it. But I would suggest, you know, in case if you can, you know, put some good comments in the group, it will help us to, you know, come out of that, you know, motivate them and also make them come out of that comfort zone and start speaking here. Okay, so apart from that,
Sam, I got to tell what is at my desk.
yeah,
Profila is
correct.
asking.
Good.
So I have a lot of stuff at my desk. Though I'm a very organized person, I have one basket which has a lot of stuff. I think Limi will like this. What do you think? Limi, you're going to like this.
What was that?
This is my water bottle with mint in it.
Mint, wow. Your detox diet.
Yeah.
Drink, sorry.
Yeah. Prafulla, this is at my desk. I have a lot of things. I cannot show you a lot of things. I have like moisturizer, hand rubs. I don't know what and all I have. I have a dongle. I have my bag. A lot of things, but yeah, this is something which I keep every day for sure.
Okay. Good stuff.
Oh, thank
Great.
you.
I think you need to clean up the table now.
I will do that without fail, Sam. Like every day I close everything, I pack it in my bag, and then very organized that way. Thank
Super.
God.
Good stuff. So even I am organized actually. You can ask Limi. So I can't tell lies anyways here, so it's very difficult. So good stuff. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining, guys. And I just want to tell you one more thing before we leave. I think about the workshop what we're conducting on every Saturday. So for the book plug members, we are you can join without paying there. So it will charge you 100 rupees per session. So but book club members at least 4 to 5 session will be free just to get to know what the session is and things like that. But in case if it is helping you, you can pay 100 rupees and join us on a Saturday. So it will be helpful for you, and you can register to the mailing list of Vijay. We will be sending education materials every week. There is a YouTube channel where you get some free videos on some of the practical scenarios we go through in your life to give what do you say. To be precise, I would say it is not a motivational talking. There is nobody to motivate during the workshop. It is more of less practical thing discussed there, and telling about how we can implement some of the things in your life so that we can become better than what we are. So there is no motivation saying I can do it, you can do it, nothing like that. No, it's more of practical things what we do it there. Okay, so you can join us on Saturday as well. In case if you're interested, you can ping me so I can send you the link to your inbox. I'll not put in the group because it's not done by me personally, it's done by my mentor. So I need to respect that and make sure people only who are interested, I'm going to send it to them. Okay, fine. Thank you very much for joining. If anybody else have anything to speak, you can let us know. Otherwise, we will disperse and we'll meet up next week again, 9 p.m. So thank you very much, everybody, to joining and inspiring us. Have a nice day.
Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.